Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the DNVR Rapids Podcast. We are live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your friendly Toyota stores. Toyota is the official vehicle of DNVR. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, and I'm joined by the fellas. Cowboy Super. Yeah.
My contract said specifically no live shows.
What?
I feel duped.
What do you mean?
My contract that I said no live shows.
Is that true?
No.
I was going to say that's
That's all we do, live shows.
It's a big change in programming coming up, if that is true. Also joining us, of course, downtown Duane Brown.
It's a special day, guys.
Why is it so special?
My family and I will be journeying on that greatest of expeditions and celebrations this evening at the newly renovated Casa Bonita.
I am so
That's nice.
jealous.
How long did it take you to get to that?
Well, I got in super early. Like, I actually had an invite last fall.
Yeah.
But we just didn't have time to use it. It actually expired.
Same.
So I emailed them and said, you know, my invite expired. Is there any way to get back on the list? And they just renewed it for 48 hours or something like that. And so we just went ahead and booked a time. We're going to the Casa.
I'm jealous. I
This
also,
evening,
You're going to La
5:45.
Bonita.
it's pretty amazing.
Gosh, it's going to be great.
Guys, we got a nice little show today. We're right in the middle of a big Leagues Cup win on Monday and maybe a big Leagues Cup game on Friday. We're going to talk about how big it is, how important it is, get into it. We also have a new segment that I like to call "Is He Back?"
I am back for Indeed.
And we're
I
going to
am
start with you.
definitely here.
Yeah, no,
The Yaya part of that is done.
I have a couple of ones like that are a little cheeky. But first, let's talk about that Leagues Cup game. Obviously, very dramatic. If you were with us hanging out in the winners' lounge, the Toyota chat was popping. One of the most dramatic wins in Rapids' recent history,
Yeah.
if not full history.
Most dramatic win probably since the 2016.
Yeah, since the Galaxy game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was electric.
It also kind of meant something because, you have the Red Bull game that they won at the Def
Right.
a couple years before 3 or whatever, but it's the one that actually
Right.
means something. It's like for a tournament.
Well, yeah, you beat a big team, right? You've had tons of problems, whether it's preseason friendlies or CONCACAF Champions League, of getting over that hump against non-domestic opponents, right? Is that a trend? Well, the trend is losing those games. Does this give you hope? Does beating this team, beating Lyon, who's not currently in their best form, had some new guys, had big player debut, they're still kind of figuring it out as they're in the young part of their season. Does this give you hope for the playoff push? Does this give you hope going into what are certainly going to be must-win games as early as September? Does that inspire anything, or is it whatever? It's just Leagues Cup. Who cares? Who wants to go first?
I don't care. Go ahead, Duane.
I mean, look, it's a good sign when any team, and especially the Rapids over the past few years, don't throw in the towel at the last minute after being beaten.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that a lot over the last couple of years. Like, the team would just give up. This is a different squad that under Chris Armas is not going to stop until the whistle blows, and that's what we saw the other night. And it was awesome to see. So, I mean, it's got to give you encouragement, or a little bit of confidence at least, if not more, going into the playoffs, which is going to be tough. There
West
are
is
good
stacking up.
There are good teams that are ahead of us, that are only signing more really good players.
Attackers.
LAFC is in the move. RSL signed another freaking attacker. People are making moves it's only going to be more of a challenge. So it's good to see a squad not give up at the last minute when it would have been very easy. It was a rainy night. It was, crummy weather. It was there. Every reason was there to be like, all right, we're at the end.
We gave up this dumb goal.
And they didn't, and that's pretty awesome.
Sure. Yeah. What do you think?
See, in the micro, I really like it. It's a fun game. I think it's incredible. In the macro, I could care less, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Leagues Cup to me is kind of like whatever. It doesn't feel like nobody's really trying. And also, when you look at the Portland game and you get blasted 4-0, a team that you also have to face when it comes to the MLS, that should be your actual measuring stick, not a LigaMX team.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like, okay, you won. That's super fun. And if you really don't think you can win the MLS Cup, go all in on the Leagues Cup. Because getting out of the season with at least a trophy would be fun.
Yeah.
But in all reality, I don't think the Rapids are winning the Leagues Cup.
Right.
In all reality, I don't think that they're going to make it far in the playoffs. Maybe they win the first round. But it's a fun moment for Rapids fans to enjoy it against a team that they've never played before.
Right.
And it's also something that, how Duane said, there's a lot of positive that you can get out of it. Keep working. Djordje's back. You get all of these things kind of working together. Rafa hits the goal again. Zach seems to be in form. And that's what makes it so fun and so exciting going forward. That if they can get in form, they can at least give us entertaining soccer for the rest of the year.
Like our guy Mark in the Toyota chat presented by the 2024 4Runner. He says, not surprised the Rapids rebounded from the Portland debacle. It's their MO this season. And that kind of is my note, is they haven't really, outside of that little stretch in June, pretty much anytime they've lost a bad game, they've responded with a good one.
Yeah.
Right? And, especially in that first round, which is best of 3, a game like this is like, okay, they could get their ass kicked game 1 and still maybe win a series, right? And so that's exciting to me. I think you're right. I think you're both right in that the trend you see out of that and like the actual on the field thing you like, peel off the competition, right? Like don't invest too much in the fact that it's Leagues Cup, that it's whatever. You don't want to take a huge break, right? If they had lost, it would have been 25 days between games. That's too long. Yep. Doesn't matter how good your team is or how injured your team is. You don't want to take a month off.
Maybe a week at most.
Right. So, but the question is, right? Like, we saw this team change in the 54th minute when Djordje came in. Dramatically. Like, it went from back and forth, both sides kind of getting into the attacking third, one way, the other, one way, the other. Djordje came on and it was Rapids on the attack, full go for about 25 minutes. They caught him on a counter, but other than that, it was Rapids going forward. Is this team only capable of going as far as Djordje can take them?
That's a hard-hitting question there.
It's yes and no. It's perfectly in that gray area.
Right.
Where you need Djordje to win you a few games. But you've seen it without Djordje too, and the team is still very competitive, very good.
Right.
It has to break their way.
I mean, they did beat RSL without him.
Exactly. Yeah. It's easier with Djordje, but without Djordje, things get complicated, and that's also excluding Kevin Cabral. Your winger depth is getting a little depleted as well. You need to make a move there. Hopefully, they do something. But Djordje can only do so much too.
Right.
And that's the other side of it, right? Like Djordje can only take you so far. You need the whole team. He's not Messi. He's not one of these guys, in my opinion. There's very few in the MLS. Not yet, at least. Sure. I think you give him another year, he might be one of those guys. A Hani Mukhtar that just completely plows through the competition. Give him a little bit more time and he might be there. He's just not there yet. And I think you still need guys like Cole to step up, guys like Ronan, and guys like Zach to really be there for you to make any sort of run in the cup.
Fair. What do you think, Duane?
I think Djordje's pivotal. I think he's the linchpin in any kind of deep movement we have in the playoffs. I agree. It takes the whole team, but the team is elevated when Djordje is on the pitch. Like like you just said, Mitch, it's like he runs onto the field, the mentality, the energy, the dog and the whole team.
That's
wakes
kind
up.
of the development from this. Is we knew Djordje had dog, but like maybe not having him for those few games really showed the dog for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was like not having it showed how impactful that is because he was getting into it with multiple players, right? Just had an edge, and maybe it could have been the shaved head haircut looking like a hard ass, but there was just you're right, something clicked. I think the other thing to that, to completely negate my own question, is that not only is Djordje so important as the 10, what it does is it puts Cole Bassett in the position where he's the
Yes.
most impactful.
Exactly.
That
right?
is such a big piece.
It's
Yeah.
like one unlocks the other.
It's team building, right? You build
Yeah.
a team a certain way, you need to run that team in that way. It's hard when you don't got all your pieces.
If you have your EAFC Ultimate team, Cole in the 10, the chemistry drops. Cole at the 8 with Djordje, chemistry goes way up.
Djordje's your engine.
Mm-hmm.
Cole is your transmission. You can't run a car with either one. You need both of them for it to be a smooth running car.
That's kind of the perfect way to put it. So, any other big takeaways from that game without stepping on our other segment? Sam Vines is actually the one I wanted to talk about. Offensively, he was getting a lot of crosses into dangerous areas. Had some nice passing combinations. He's not in the is he back segment because he hasn't done
He's not
enough
back.
yet,
He's clearly
right?
not
It's pretty
back.
obvious. But are you encouraged with where that is, especially losing someone like Cabral? Can he at least fill part of the hole? He's not going to do the whole thing, but can him pushing up help that enough to kind of negate the loss?
The most encouraging thing to me about Sam Vines is that it feels like it's a switch in mentality.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of saw it with Cole around this time too, where he stopped putting his head down, and he just kind of got to work. And no matter how bad the pass was, no matter what error you made, he still kept going. Sam, at the beginning of the year, you could really see his confidence starting to dip a lot. Whenever he got the ball, he kind of panicked more. This last game, I felt like he was more willing to make the bad pass, live with it, and continue working and trying to make the next pass better.
Mm-hmm.
Cole had the exact same kind of transition last year during this time, where he was always mad. He was always, you could see the body language. We talked about it on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
He would throw up his hands and say, "What the hell's going on?" You get a new coach, and then it kind of changes. I think it just has taken Sam some time to adapt. With the wedding coming up, he's been sick. He was injured. So many things that are coming into his life and into his plate.
A new system, new everything. Yeah.
A lot of things that he's not used to. Going from a 5-back when he played here to a 4-back, even though he played that in Europe, it is very different. I think it's just taking some time for him to adjust. I'm encouraged by the mentality that he's showing going forward, that he's willing to make those mistakes and live with those mistakes and try improving them on the next time.
Well, it wasn't just, the team bounced back from a bad loss, Duane, but he bounced back from a bad game.
Yeah.
Right. So, like he said, is it just mentality shift is going to fix it? Because at this point, he's playing way high up. Is it a positional change that's going to fix it? Is it just attitude? Is it just time? What's going to fix it for Sam?
In Sam 1.0, before he went to Europe,
Which big shouts. We loved him.
yeah, I mean, still love Sam. It's
Of course.
just, he's trying to find whatever Sam 0.20 is. I think it's still in development of trying to figure out what is that. Before the move, Sam was a guy who could push up and never had a problem getting back to cover. And like that's one of my big worries. It's good the other night to see him pushing up, making the passes. Look, it's great if you can put the pass, FIFA cheat code, put it right on the guy's boot. Great. If it's not as great, still you're making the pass because shit happens, in the box, and it can't happen unless the ball's there. So it was great to see him pushing the ball in there, but the defense still struggled a bit, and getting back, and that back corner worries me, especially when we're playing teams that are happy to give the Rapids the ball. Happy to give Sam the ball and let him run it up because they're going to run transition. They're going to play counter ball. And then we have that hole, Now, if Djordje comes back, Cole is back, Ollie can play more in that. Does that cover it and allow Sam to move up? Well, then maybe not such a big deal,
right?
You know, and that's where I think it's like trying to figure out like what is that role for Sam? Is it more of attack focused or is it both? You know, I don't feel like it's a defensive role. Like it just doesn't seem that currently. So so much of it depends on the other players around him to cover if he's going to move up and be that guy.
It's almost like to me. It almost feels like Sam would benefit from pushing from a 3-4-1-2, where you have a 3-back line with Keegan, Moise, and Maxu. Then you have Vines on the left. You have Cole. Then you have Ronan and Ollie, and on the right you have Calvin Harris. So Sam kind of becomes that wingback kind of
the Vines
more.
back.
Yeah, the Vines back.
Vines
Basically,
back.
You put Djordje at that 10 still, and then you have two strikers up there. You choose. Is it Lewis? Is it Yappy? Is it Rafa with somebody? Like, you choose who's Rafa's partner. And that becomes a way more viable option, in my opinion, because you do benefit from the speed of the team, and you also get Sam at at his most effective position.
Yeah, I rewatched the game. Don't do that a ton. But
yeah, you don't.
I had to rewatch the game, and then I rewatched the goal like 50 times. That Keegan assist, no joke, might be one of the greatest passes we've seen from a Rapid ever.
Midair, just kind of tapped it from his foot.
Perfect run, perfectly weighted ball from Cole, perfectly weighted. I mean, he didn't have much margin to get Rafa. It was pretty short. There was going to be a ton of force on the pass no matter what. And he put it on the effing money.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've given enough credit to Keegan for that ball. I mean, god damn. I'm still blown away by it.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I'm in shock. It was a dime. I mean, that might be one of the passes of the year.
Yep. No, for sure, man.
Like in the league.
Keegan
Well, I guess
also
Leagues Cup, so it doesn't
Keegan
count
has
as that.
great control too. He has one of the best touches on the Rapids. Whenever the ball comes up, I'm not afraid if he's gonna hit it long. He always gets it right down. Keegan just does a great job. He's a cerebral assassin, and he knows exactly, calculates. He's doing math in his head. He's projecting the wind trajectory as the ball's coming down. Like that's the kind of player Keegan is to begin with.
The one time open foot, kind of jumping a little bit.
Yeah, midair.
That's my biggest takeaway from that game.
If he would have done the
God
Neymar
damn.
and just put the foot behind the other one and kind of tapped it that way, that would have been sauce.
Man, that is. I'm gonna watch it again today, like 20 times probably. That goal ruled. Great stuff. All right, we're gonna get into. Is he back? On the other side of this break, but first, got to talk about our friends at Lucy Nicotine. Yeah, how many pouches of Lucy Nicotine did you go through on that 18-hour drive?
I had to take it careful too because they're heavy.
All of them.
Every single one you had?
Are you talking pouches or packs?
Yeah, sure.
No, I went through quite a few, man. They kept me energized. They kept me going.
Were you
Kept
the
me
only
focused.
driver on it?
Yeah, I was the only driver, man.
That's how I do it on road
breaking a
trips
lot
too.
of laws.
Oh, wow.
Should not be going over 30 the speed limit, but it's a highway. It's fine.
Texas. Would you go through Texas?
No, I went
New
to
Mexico?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
armpit of America.
Dude, from Santa Fe to Las Cruces, you can just,
Yeah, zoom.
or Albuquerque to Las Cruces,
Yeah.
you can just fly.
Well, I went through 54, so it was, so I just skipped all of that, and I just was able to like floor it. It was incredible. Good time to be alive.
Throwing a Lucy pouch while you're driving. One of my favorite times for a Lucy pouch. They're 100% pure nicotine. They're always tobacco free. They're not just some giant big tobacco company kind of answering the market, throwing out a crappy product. They're a small company trying to make a dent, and they're doing a great job of it because they're great. They have passed the DNVR test. Bunch of nicotine heads here, bunch of pouch guys in this office, and we're all sold on it.
We're on Nick heads.
All of us. But maybe not Nick the photographer. Just kidding, Nick. Good job at the game on Friday or Monday. Look, they offer a ton of flavors: apple ice, wintergreen, mango, espresso, berry, all sorts of flavors. And they come in a variety of strengths from 4 milligrams to 8 milligrams to 12. Have you had the 12s?
Yeah, I've had them before.
That sounds intense to me.
Not my cup of tea, but I've had them.
That's a lot. If you're not into pouches, they have gum in 2, 4, and 6. That seems like such a nice, easy way to get your fix.
Yep.
Totally. I mean, pouches are discreet. Gum's even more discreet.
Yep.
That guy's just chewing gum. Psych, he's on a smoke break. Pretty awesome. You get a subscription.
Always keep them guessing.
Keep them guessing. Don't let them know your next move. You can set yourself up a subscription. It can be delivered right to your door. We're going to level up your routine. Go to lucy.co/rapids. Use promo code RAPIDS. Get 20% off your first order. Lucy offers free shipping and has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. That's lucy.co and use code RAPIDS to get 20% off. Always free shipping. Here comes the fine print. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Shout out to our friends at Lucy. We're also brought to you by our friends at Toyota.
I'm telling you, man, I got lost at a Toyota-thon for a while there.
Toyota-thon. That's every podcast we do is a Toyota-thon. Man, I love Toyotas. We love Toyotas. We love them so much. We made them the official vehicle of DNVR. And they're all over. We're going to have trucks at tailgates decked out with DNVR gear. You have chances to win trucks from Toyota at our golf tournaments. If you're going to dime in a hole-in-one real quick, pull a Keegan, dime one in there for a truck.
That's so crazy.
I know. It's insane. Yeah. I was working a booth for us at another golf tournament, not our golf tournament, just spreading the good word of DNVR. And a hole-in-one on that was just a year's supply of golf balls. Toyota truck, way cooler.
Yeah.
You can't ride golf balls down to the creek.
No, you can't ride.
Makes me think, like, what have I been doing with my life? Like, I should have been playing golf.
That's what I have learned in this life is not playing golf early was a mistake.
That's where the deals are done, man.
But you know what mistake I didn't make was not owning a Toyota, because we have 2 of them in our household. We love Toyota. The trucks are great. Tacomas, Tundras, the Tundra iForce Max Hybrid. That's one of 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from. The 4Runner is just 7. That's one of 17 models with all-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive. All sorts of Toyotas to help you out. We also have SUVs like RAV4 and Grand Highlander. Look, we love Toyotas. We love all of them, every single one of them. So you can visit a Front Range Toyota store right now at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe in Centennial, Corwin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, shout out, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of the Colorado Rapids and the official vehicle of DNVR. All right, DNVR Rapids, we are back on a beautiful Wednesday. Mitch, Yaya, Duane, super producer Tiff hanging out on the 1s and 2s in the back. All right, we're going to play a little game. Is he back?
No.
Is he back?
We'll find out.
And first up, Rafael Navarro. Rafael Navarro. Hafa.
Is that the only option we have? Is he back?
Is he back, yes or no?
He's
on a scale of not back to back.
So my thing
is he back?
My thing
This is a pass-fail only.
Oh no, because I think he's in transit.
There's no grading on a curve
There
here.
might be a kind of back somewhere in the middle.
Professor Mitchell runs a very tight classroom.
My thing is he's in transit, right? Like he's on his way of being back. You've seen the work ethic he has, the effort he puts in every game, and it's not fully there yet. So I think he's in transit.
Sure.
He got
Close.
back on the bus.
Yeah.
Like the bus is going. Like,
Sure.
How far is the distance? We don't know. But I think he's trying to get back. He bought the ticket at least, minimum.
Right. Duane, what do you think? Back?
No.
Why not?
I think he could be on the way, but man, there's been a long gap.
Right.
Ever since the pen hit the paper, the foot no longer hit the ball into the net. And so I do think it was a super positive step, one, to tie it up in such an emotional, like, dramatic fashion. You saw, like, how pumped I mean, dude, I was afraid his arms were going to come flying out of his shoulder sockets, like the way he was flailing around, which I think is a great sign. And then to follow that up with a PK when he was struggling with that. So I think he's on the way.
Why I think he is back is because everything else never left, right? And that's the fear. That was the fear last year, right? Mm-hmm. The effort, the off the ball effort, the work rate, getting open, making those extra passes, not getting the ball anywhere near the box and deciding I'm going to do it myself, but making one-touch passes, no-look passes, little weird touches you don't expect coming to free somebody up. All those little things he kept going and kept doing and kept working on it. And then he gets the clutchest goal we've seen in a very long time. And like you said, follows up by getting a penalty after missing 3 straight. Sometimes that's all it takes for a goal scorer like him, right? It just takes seeing it go in again.
Yeah.
It's like if Klay Thompson misses a bunch of threes in a row, he's not going to stop shooting threes. And once one goes in, he could have a 20-point quarter. Yeah. You know what I mean? So
Crash also makes a good point, man, that he's not just back, his homie's back. The setter-upper. Like the dude that got him those goals is back playing with him, so that helps him out quite a bit.
And they had an instant connection. He had that nice little one-touch layoff to him.
Yeah. The one that Djordje should have just shot.
Yeah, he took an extra heavy touch.
He took an extra touch, and it just messed up. But, again, he has the guy that he has probably the most connection with on the team, at least football-wise. They're just maybe Omier's the only other guy that can compete with that. But when you have that, it's so easy to be back, to at least be on your way back.
If he scores against Juarez, he's so effing back.
Then that's a hate crime.
The back meter is like pinging.
That's a hate crime.
Jeez. Oh God. All right, Zack Steffen. Is he back?
I think he arrived. He just got here.
My notes, is back even the right term if he hadn't really been there all season?
I think he just arrived. I think he was on the plane from China, whatever the longest flight is, from probably China to here. Like, that was probably the longest flight that he's been on.
Sure.
And he just got here.
Okay.
And I think this could be a good launching point for him.
So I guess then is the question, is he here?
That's more likely.
Or is he back on the plane headed back next game?
I think he's here. I think a lot of the mistakes that he was giving up early in the season have kind of not been so loud, and has been a lot of the defense kind of leaving him to hang lately. So I think it's more on. Yeah? I think he's finally got here and feels confident behind his line.
I go to training quite a bit, not as much as some, or as much as anybody probably. Somewhere in that range, close to the most, maybe not the most, but close. I'm there a lot. And I don't see anyone working as hard, as often, as long, as extra, taking it as personal, taking it more competitively than Zack Steffen.
Yeah.
It's a different level than we've seen in training. Even Djordje, even bringing the European guys back, adding guys from, winning clubs. He takes training the most serious of anyone I've ever watched at Rapids training. And it isn't close. Yeah. And so I'm wondering, and goalkeeping might be a little different than like a goal scorer on the other end of the field, but having a game like that, especially coming up huge in Pens, is that all it takes? Is there a switch he can just be like, okay, I can do this. I have the confidence back. You were a goalie in another sport, but a goalie nonetheless. Am I onto something there, Duane?
I mean, you either got it or you don't.
Right.
But
he showed it.
He showed it once.
Well, yeah.
Not once. He's had a couple of real good games this season, but it's either in or out. A lot of that deals with the help that he's getting in front of him. That's so important for a keeper, especially in soccer. Not as much for hockey. Helps, but there's a lot more pressure, I think. and for a hockey goalie, you can pull off more by yourself. It's just a different sport. The goal is different.
Much
the
smaller.
Game, the puck is also much smaller. It's not a big fluffy ball. It's a 100-mile-an-hour rock coming at
It's
you.
also just the
It's
football
just
pitch
different.
is big.
Yeah,
There's more space
it's
to manipulate.
Everything's they're very different, but I think the mentality is probably similar. Something in your head needs to be a little off.
Yeah.
Like you need to be a little like just
Cuckoo.
slightly cuckoo to be a goalie for any sport, I think, because you're willingly putting yourself in front of
Flying
dangerous
objects.
things, and so I think that Steffen, one, is super mature. I think he is a leader, but he's also got a little cuckoo in him, and like that's a good thing. You need that. Especially when we look at the game the other night. I mean, that dude was flying all around to get to the ball, and when you can sacrifice your body, put it in whatever position you need to get a piece of it, whatever that is, a hand, a foot, a leg, your face, whatever, that is like a clear sign of the level of cuckoo you need for a keeper. And like we saw that. So I thought that was a great sign. I hope it's a sign of what's to come, but we'll see, because it's been up and down, all season. So,
I think it's something you can ride, right? And that's why I was so nervous about losing that game, because you don't want to go back to just the routine practice, time off. Maybe you're going on vacation. Maybe you lose some chemistry, and maybe you don't keep the form of a hot game like that, right? Juarez, I would say, is a decidedly worse roster
Oh yeah,
than Leon. That's not a hot take.
the
That's
laughing
just
stock
a
of
fact.
Mexico.
The border club's not doing so hot. But now you have a lesser opponent. You guys just had a big win. Ride it.
for sure.
Ride it. See what happens. Next you have, I know it's Houston, and are they playing Atlas? Does that sound right?
I got it up.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah.
want to know?
I just want to know who the next opponent could be. I know Houston's one of them.
Oh, for
Who you
the Rapids,
lost to.
if we win?
Yeah.
Let's see.
You're asking the wrong guy here.
Literally have it up right here. Just a sec. All right, so we will play the winner of Toluca and
Oh,
Houston.
Toluca. Little revenge action.
Toluca or who?
Or
Houston.
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 Both of those teams
Houston's a scary team.
are good right now.
Yeah. Houston's okay. That's the thing.
Houston's last 5 matches
This
have been
tournament-
pretty good.
I'm impressed the Rapids made it this far, regardless.
Sure.
Yeah.
This tournament is like Austin swept 2 Mexican teams,
And
like
not just 2 Mexican teams, like Monterrey.
and
and
Pumas,
Pumas, like 2 of the Big Six.
So it's like these teams that I don't think of as intimidating in MLS play are doing good. So I don't know what to think about Houston. I'm not scared of them in a vacuum, but I'm scared every time the Rapids go on the field, I think. So
No, and Duane was a good point. They're both of them are in really good form lately.
Yeah.
Like they're doing pretty well.
yeah.
So
Well, we'll see how he does. Hopefully he keeps it going. Up next, Jonathan Lewis. Is he back?
No.
no.
Okay. End of segment, I guess. No, let's dig into it. Why is he not back?
Man, it's the same J. Lou we've seen. Like, I mean, he's back to who he was. Like, if that's what you're saying, but like, J. Lou.
Oh, he's back the other way,
Like-
after a hot form.
I think so. Like,
Interesting. I didn't expect that answer.
the thing is, man, I like J. Lou. I really do. I wish the talent he has would show a lot more on the pitch. You saw
Right.
his last game, and his touches were so heavy that they went ahead of him 5 feet, and he will lose the ball in a critical point right when you're in the final third. That kind of stuff is stuff that, with that amount of talent that J. Lou has, he should be maybe a top 10 winger in the MLS. And it never seems like it goes into fruition. There's always a little mistake. It feels like very Cabral-esque at the beginning of Cabral's tenure with the Rapids.
Sure.
Where you see the flashes, and then it just kind of disappears immediately.
He was making a lot of really good runs, I noticed on rewatch.
Yeah, great
Like
runs.
great. He had that early one in the second half through the middle, through that channel, and Cole
Yeah.
found him. The ball was just a little too heavy a couple times on his best runs, which sucked because it was like that was his
That's
chance
not
to
on
really
him.
make an
Yeah.
impact.
And-
But they were the right move, and the guys saw it. And so I think not just having 10, 15, 20 minutes every third game, but finding a groove, maybe he can be back.
And that's the other thing, right? That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you see what he can do. You can see the flashes. But there's always that little thing that he messes up on that completely negates the play that he just did.
Because he's been a key cog in a pretty good offense before.
Yeah,
in 2021, he was huge. He was super sub. He was, I mean, it was J-Lu making that impact.
Sure.
Are you sold? You don't seem sold.
No. Like, and the thing is, like, I mean, when J-Lu first got here, like, man, I was like one of the biggest J-Lu fans out there, and I still love the dude. I love to watch him run and play and fly down the wing. There still seems to be a disconnect between a system that is known for trying to convert into an inverted winger, or at least stacking the middle with your forwards. And I constantly see J-Lu running down, playing Fraser ball, going all the way to the goal line until you're out of space and then try to kick it in. So I think there's still just like a little bit that's not quite clicking on getting into the, like, fully ingrained into the new system. Part of that is just not playing.
Time.
Like, he hasn't had the opportunity to get fully gelled into the system. So part of that is just playing time. He's getting a lot more of that lately. So, I mean, the potential is there. Dude, he had an incredible few games, and that was only like 2 weeks ago. So the potential is all there. The dude's got the talent. He's got the tools. It's just a matter of making it happen.
Execution. Our guy Mark in the chat says, should the Rapids be looking for another winger in the window?
Yes.
I've said
Crash
this from
says,
the beginning of
Crash
the year.
says definitely need a winger.
I've been saying this from the beginning of the year. The wingers, what the biggest need in your roster.
They have just over another week in the window. So you get you get minimum one more game. I bet we see a lot of Kamani this next game.
I love Kamani so much.
See if you need a winger, or if you can survive with the Omir, Calvin, KSB, Lewis until you get to the playoffs when Kevin's back.
I think you need another winger regardless,
I think
even
so
if
too.
everybody's
That's
good.
6 wingers on the roster though. That's a big position. That's a lot of people in a position group.
Not really, because all these guys play different stuff too. Calvin and Cabral play striker. Omir plays a 10. So these guys are interchangeable around.
Omir finished as a 10. It was kind of a double 10 with Djordje.
Exactly.
That's an interesting point.
There's so much like movement in your winger group that they can play different positions, that it's not just getting a winger. I think you do need a winger though.
Right.
Another guy that can just fill a hole. Like another guy that can come in here and be like, hey, if you give me 30, 40 minutes, that's fine. You don't need a star player that's worth $5 million. That's not what I'm advocating for.
U22?
I'm advocating for a U22 within the league.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
I mean, that's doable. It's doable.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the most
Love that.
likely scenario.
The list that I had a bunch of questions that were a little cheeky. Djordje, is he back? Yes.
Is he?
Literally
and physically.
Physically.
It might be his evil twin.
It could be. Bad haircut.
I've never seen a ball Djordje.
Keegan and Moise, back, obviously. Had fun at All-Star. Welcome back. Kamani, back. Literally. He was gone. Now he's back.
Kamani's
Me
game
too.
is so
I want to
nice.
watch him a lot more. He's really
Yeah.
fun. Adam Beaudry, not back yet, but tough loss in the CONCACAF championships.
My heart broke.
2 extra time goals.
I've never felt
to Mexico.
more happy and sad at the same time in my life.
I don't think either were his fault. There's nothing he could have done on either goal.
No, but I do love the U.S. U20 squad. I think they're so talented, especially with a guy like Adam Beaudry there.
Right.
And then you have Mexico, like the squad I bleed for. And it hurts so much seeing the U.S. lose in that way.
Tough.
It also hurt so much. I felt so excited watching the Mexico win.
Yeah, good win for them. They need it. They need that pipeline.
They need so
talent.
much more than that win.
No, I know, but they need the talent in the pipeline to show. So, all right. On the other side, we're going to get into a little Leagues Cup discussion, get into Juarez, get into what to kind of look out for on Friday. But before that, we need to talk about ourselves.
Well, I'm a Virgo.
DNVR.
Oh, okay.
I'm also a Virgo.
Oh, high five.
It's a fun thing to be. Look, a lot of events coming up at DNVR. Duane, what's your sign?
Oh,
DNVR.
Mitchell.
What's your sign?
That's a sweet Pisces.
You know, I asked that question, and I don't know what the hell it means, so I don't even know why
Is
I
that
asked.
the squiggly line one?
What about you, super producer Tiff?
I'm a Taurus.
Oh.
Like, there's like 4 of us in the office. It's awesome.
That tracks.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
share a birthday with one of our with the new Rocky.
I do.
house.
Exact birthday.
actually
We're
true.
exact birthday twins.
Yeah.
We need
Amazing.
to get Tiff or Megan or somebody to tell us what all of this means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No idea.
We might get Megan on here and do a little
I love
short
that.
segment with her explaining
Love that.
each player's
Megan,
sign.
You should have
from the
Megan do a
app, she
tarot
knows it.
reading on the Rapids.
We might have to do this.
You know what we do know? We know how to have fun. We know how to throw a damn good party. And we're going to have those before every Broncos game and every Buffs game this season. Home games. Just fantastic tailgates. I love vibing out at our tailgates. Fans piling in, hyped for the game, hyped to hang out together, hyped to meet other fans, meet the DNVR Broncos crew that Yaya's a part of, meet the Buffs crew. You know, the Broncos tailgate is right behind Sports Fan on Federal and 18th right there. So you're right above the parking lot. You have a view of the
Best view.
stadium, view of downtown, view of all the tailgates in the Broncos parking lots below. We're going to have primo hoagies at every
Oh.
tailgate.
Love me some Primo hoagies.
They're so good.
They're so damn good. Best sandwich I've ever had in my life, hands
That
down.
whole spicy menu they have, the spicy version of every
Yeah.
sandwich, like get out of town. I love that. The first one, the preseason game, a little different. Only $10. Still get all the Breck brews you can drink, but we're gonna have a legal Pete's cater that one. Not a bad option when you don't have Primo.
Pete's,
You can just have
best
Pete's.
burrito I've had in this area. not that far off.
Yeah, so go check that out. The Buffs is between 28th and 29th off of Arapahoe, behind Old Ralphie's bar. We have parking with that too. So you can buy your tailgate ticket for all the booze and food and games and hangs. You can also pay for parking right there. You don't have to park, walk to the tailgate, walk to the game. You're right there on Arapahoe. You can just go up from there to the stadium, just a few blocks, and not too long of a walk, or grab a pedicab or whatever. But it's going to be a good time. We hope to see you there. There is a next weekend, packed weekend, Friday, golf tournament, the 16th. DNVR Kickoff Classic, kicking off football season. That's at Legacy Ridge in Westminster. We love our golf tournaments. Get your foursome signed up today. thednvr.com/events. Have a bunch of fun, prizes, games. Just get to golf on a Friday instead of work. It sounds great. And the next day, we have a Rockies takeover on Todd Helton night. Celebrate maybe the Rockies GOAT
If
Bobbleheads.
not very close.
with a bobblehead.
Oh yeah, and they will drop you off with enough time for you to get a bobblehead.
It's the first 30,000. I
which is
hope we
so
can drop you
important.
off in time.
Yeah, it's so important. Hopefully it's full.
Yeah. 30,000, I mean, they can hold, what, 50 something?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll hope to get you there early enough. Get your
You already got
package.
30,000. What's the point of
Yeah.
not just getting another 20,000 and give everybody a bobblehead? Don't get it.
You can also go check out his Hall of Fame plaque. Very cool stuff. All those available at thednvr.com. Did I miss anything? Oh, Avs season's coming up. We have 3 different takeovers. I know that's a ways away, but if you're going to plan on spending some money on tickets now, you might as well just do it with us because you get to hang at the bar, hang with the crew.
Same thing with Nuggets.
Nuggets,
the
we don't know the
works.
schedule yet, so we can't advertise.
Yeah, but
you know?
eventually we will have takeovers
Yeah.
too. So we're just Takeover City over here.
Yeah, Takeover City, Takeover Denver Sports with thednvr.com. All right, we're back. DNVR Rapids, hanging out on a Wednesday. Final segment. We got a knockout game. And I guess essentially they just were in a knockout game because it was winner moves on, right?
Yep.
Are you feeling confident going into this Juarez game?
This is the first knockout game since the
2021
2021 Portland game on Thanksgiving.
We were there.
Yeah,
All
first
three of
game.
us
I mean,
yeah.
technically, the other night was a knockout.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, but
second.
an actual
Yeah.
knockout,
okay.
like
Okay,
labeled knockout.
Yeah. Where's your confidence level, guys?
I actually don't know how I feel.
All right, we'll get to you in a sec. Duane, how do you
Super
feel?
high. Come on, it's Juarez. Like this. I mean, it would be shameful if we lose this game. Like,
We're gonna go to
this
our-
is a team that we should beat. Like, we're better than them. Our players are better than them.
It's at home.
It's technically at home, whether or not we're the home team. It's a Friday night vibes. C38 tailgate before the match. Like, everything is in the Rapids' favor for Friday. Like, I cannot imagine the Rapids not winning this game.
Juarez is the closest team to Denver in
Yeah.
Mexico.
I drove by the stadium. When I
Is
was
there
there
going to be
couple
a pretty poppin' crowd?
It's
Probably
gonna be
not.
You think it's going to be less than Leon's crowd?
I think so.
It may be a fairly empty stadium. That's the only thing that
I hope not on a Friday night.
The thing is, Juarez just doesn't have a fan base.
Yeah, okay. We're going to go to our LigaMX correspondent,
So-
Yahya here. Tell us about Juarez.
I don't know much about the roster. I know a lot
Well,
about
that's
their
fine.
lore. They were actually we got somebody breaking shit over there. But the whole thing with Juarez is they used to be the Indios. That's the team I used to root for in Juarez, and then they got disbanded, and then Juarez FC came back. Juarez FC has a horrible track record of bringing fans to the stadium, trying to create an actual good team. Like, their stadium is so bad. Like, it's worse than DSGP. Trust me. Like, the whole thing with me is I don't know if I'm confident or not. Mostly because Leagues Cup has been really weird.
Yeah.
Mazatlan had no business advancing according to their legal record, right?
Yeah.
They're bad. Like, no offense to it. I know you're-
disagree.
like they had no reason being there. Austin had no reason beating probably one of the top two clubs in all of CONCACAF, which was Monterrey. Like, you just don't know in this kind of tournament how much the other team is taking it seriously, especially with what's going on. If they're not really in contention for the league anymore, put all your chips into Leagues Cup. Go home with the tournament. The Rapids are still in contention technically, so I don't know how much harder Juarez is going to try than the Rapids. And also, I'm not sure how this tournament favors MLS teams or not. It's at home, but not really.
This year it has.
This year it has.
Yeah.
But
Last year it did not.
But even
Even with Miami winning ultimately.
Exactly.
but-
I don't think there's going to be a lot of Juarez fans, but there will definitely be a lot of Mexico fans that just want to see Juarez in general. So it gets so weird in my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't know how confident I am because Leagues Cup is just a completely different animal.
I went to both pressers before. We just do our show after, so I don't usually go to post-game pressers. I also don't know how much you can really learn from post-game pressers. I think it's always kind of the same message, regardless of who it is. But the pregame message, Armas has stayed on message. You know, if you're talking like a campaign, like is in the news, obviously, you stay on message, right? And Armas's message all season has been, we are going to attack. We are going to attack. We are going to attack.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go forward. We are going to play 90. We're not going to waste time. We are going to run. We are going to press. We are going to play together. And they showed that in this last game against a quality opponent. And I see no reason why they wouldn't show that against a lesser opponent at home.
Yeah.
Right? If there's a trophy available, they're going to go for it. That doesn't mean they're going to win it. That might be kind of foolish confidence. But the team seems together. The team seems focused in one direction. So I am a little confident about it.
No, of course. And again,
You know?
I'm not knocking you
Yeah.
guys for being confident. It's just Leagues Cup to me
It's
is
weird.
like so weird. Juarez has no reason to be in the spot they are right now either. But yet there they are. And
They
that's
won
where-
their group.
Exactly. And that's where I'm like, how much does this actually, is it kind of a fluke because who's trying and who's not trying? Because as much as I believe the Rapids are way more talented, the tournament just seems so wacky to me all the way around.
It is wacky. Maybe that's kind of where we shift. You know, I don't think any of us up here would call ourselves Juarez experts.
Juarez beat FC Dallas and St. Louis. Like, I think both
Two
of those
bad teams, yeah.
But I still think both of the teams are way more talented than
Then Juarez?
Juarez by a
Interesting.
mile. Like,
Interesting.
it's not even close.
Yeah, you're right. Teams that shouldn't be winning are winning in this tournament.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't know how far they're gonna go.
Maybe this is their Cinderella run, right? Maybe this is
It's over for them. Their League's Cup appearance is over on Friday.
wow.
It's done. Like, there's no way
This
they're
is the
beating
clip
the
we're gonna
Rapids.
need, Tiff.
The It's done. Like their run is done. It's turning back into a pumpkin. If it's a Cinderella, it's pumpkin time. Like get out your Halloween costumes because Friday's pumpkin time for Juarez.
If
like,
you guys have followed
they're
Liga MX, they do have some notable names that have kind of fallen off a little bit. They have Jairo Torres, played for
Yeah, of course.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Was a big part of that Atlas double championship they won a couple years ago. Jonathan Gonzalez. Rapids had their discovery rights, went to Minnesota, sold off discovery rights. They have Angel Saldivar, another striker from Chivas. If you've been following, he was on the Mexican team. So they have notable names. They also have Sebastián Jurado, the young goalkeeper that was supposed to be the next big thing. Never really came to fruition. They have notable names that just kind of have fallen off. They're kind of Rapids-esque in that, where they bring back names that
Spider-Man
didn't
name.
really like work, but like they're players with less talent than what I think the Rapids have.
I'm gonna
Sure.
throw out some names to you:
Okay.
Djordje Mihailovic,
Love him.
Cole Bassett,
Love him.
Rafael Navarro,
Love him.
Omir Fernandez,
Love him.
Keegan Rosenberry,
Oh,
Andreas Maxu, Zack Steffen,
yeah.
Moise Bombito,
Best player of the
Connor
team.
Ronan, Ollie.
You're losing me as you get down the list.
Yeah, like again,
These are all the names that are the reason why Juarez is not going to win.
God, I love that. Don't
you're
you love
so
the
confident,
confidence?
and I just can't be that
Spicy
confident.
Duane,
Like,
dude.
I cannot be that confident.
It's just the only issue is one, I'm not sure how many people are going to be there.
Yep.
Two, it's a Leagues Cup game at Dick's Sporting Goods Park. We all know that this means it's going to rain. I've already looked at the forecast. It's raining, folks. So bring a poncho, whatever.
I think it's going to be a blast.
Get some snacks. That's probably going to happen. But, I mean, the weather is the only thing that provides a hiccup. Otherwise, there's no reason why the Rapids aren't getting a W on Friday.
You know, I think and we can zoom out a little bit just to Leagues Cup kind of as a whole. I think this round of games is kind of exactly what the organizers were looking for. There's only 2 matchups featuring Mexican only teams, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there's 6 MLS exclusive games, but the rest are mixed up between both leagues, right? There's plenty, including our corner of the bracket where you have Toluca and Houston, Vancouver's playing Puma, San Jose, I can't pronounce.
Querétaro.
No.
What did it start with?
NCX.
Oh, Necaxa?
I don't want to try it.
Yeah.
Wait, which one was it?
You're right. That's
You're
what
right.
it is. I
That's
just
what
don't
it
want
is.
to say it.
Yeah, it's hard to say. That's true. That is the hardest one.
Orlando's playing Cruz Azul. DC's playing Mazatlan. Cincy
Be
is
another
playing,
win for Mazatlan and
Santos.
another win for the Rapids. Who knew?
Wow.
I don't know. DC's been balling.
And then I'm actually excited for the Mexican matchups. Tigres and Pachuca could be fun.
Yeah. Tigres is always really good.
And then America and Atlas could be fun too.
Houston Toluca is going to be a really, really good
I
match.
feel like they should reshuffle.
Reseed
there-
it?
Yeah, so there's no MLS and there's no...
Well, you can't. There's 11
No, like...
Liga teams
as
left, and
little
there's
as possible.
9 or 20 MLS teams left.
As little as possible, at least.
21.
I just feel like having MLS exclusive and Liga exclusive just kind of ruins the vibe of the tournament.
Vibes of the tournament. If we win, if you're into the round of 16, are you liking Leagues Cup more?
Probably not. I would still be excited for the Rapids to probably get away with the trophy if they can. But it's Leagues Cup to me has just seemed like such a money grab this year more than any other year. And it just seems to be winding down on it too. Like there's not as much viewership, people talking about it as there were last year. When I was in Mexico, turned on the sports channel, I was telling Duane, they were talking about it for, even though the season already started for the Mexican teams, they're talking about it like it's preseason for them.
Interesting.
They're talking about it as like, oh, could this break and get them ready for the season to come? There's only been 4 games. They're not thinking of who's gonna win the tournament. They really don't care.
I guess I don't really care either, if I'm being honest.
That's what I mean.
I'm
it
excited
was
for
the new
any
exciting
Rapids
thing.
game ever.
Yes. That's
That
as far
isn't
as
a
my
friendly.
interest goes.
Yeah.
My interest goes with the Rapids.
And
that's
even
it.
then, I'm interested in the friendlies, I guess.
I feel like it should be a every 2 years tournament.
I don't know how. I thought the only thing that's going to make this tournament a thing is time.
Yeah, I think doing it every 2
big
years.
games, intense moments, dust ups, shootouts, rivals meeting in the tournament.
Yeah.
It's going to take those, and it's going to take being able to look back and be like, oh, remember El Tráfico in a Leagues Cup semi, or
Yeah.
LAFC and Club America, or Miami versus who. You're gonna have to look back and be like, remember how crazy that game
Yeah.
was, and it's gonna take a bunch of that for it to be a real tournament.
I think giving some time to it every 2-3 years would make it make the heart grow fonder.
Sure.
It would be like, I want to see that more often.
More of a
Like, I want to
build-up.
see one more. Like,
Well-
you get one matchup is coming to Colorado this year.
Rapids have a decent chance to be at home for a couple games. You just have to hope that whoever wins between America and Atlas can beat the winner of St. Louis Portland, and you have to hope Toluca beats Houston, and you could be at home into the semis,
Yeah.
which would be pretty fun. All right, prediction time. Who's going first today, fellers?
Go ahead, Duane.
3-0 Rapids.
3-0. Who's scoring?
Oh, who's scoring? That's a good question. Let's go Djordje with 2, and we'll make your Hoffa comeback dreams come true with
Let's
the
go.
Hoffa goal.
Love that.
I'm gonna go 2-2. Rapids advance on penalty kicks,
Oh, dramatics.
and I think it's gonna be Rafa and Sammy Vines.
I don't want penalties. I don't want the show to start later than necessary. So I want a 1-0 win. I want Rafa to get the goal. I want it to be over with 1 minute of stoppage time so I can be in the car headed home to do our post game. But I do think a date in the round of 16 is on. I agree
Yeah.
with Duane. I think we all agree.
Yeah.
But we are not as confident
Confident, yeah.
as this guy is. So
Again, I think they're the better team by
Yeah.
a mile. The tournament itself is so wacky.
yeah, I love that. We're gonna post Dwayne's clip being super confident. No way it could come back to hurt us. So,
Nope.
Not us.
That's right.
Dwayne,
That's right. I'm right.
Yeah, we have to do super quick plugs. Get us out of here.
DNVR Rapids on Twitter. Please follow us there. 5-star review wherever you hear this podcast. Give this video a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're so close to 100K. I say this every time, but we're still there, baby. You
can smell it.
Look, he's hound dogging over here, knowing that it's right around the corner. Besides that, just interact with us as much as you can. We really appreciate it. It's super fun for us.
Dwayne?
Saturday morning, DNVR bar, 9 a.m. USA women versus Brazil women for the gold medal. It'll be right downstairs.
It's going to be super fun. Might even see me there. Subscribe, like, follow, do all the stuff you know to do. Become a diehard at the DNVR.com. We really appreciate that. And as always, up the Pids.
We all silly like the mayor.